Well, this is Baruch Fleischman back at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and I've gotten myself a microphone. And this visual learning that I'm going through right now with you all is I'm just learning how to do it, and I'm waiting for a tutor to come and give me some ideas about how I can do it better. But in the meantime, I might as well look at a shtickle. Well, this is the Rashash. The book that we're looking at here, let me open it up. See, I got the wrong, too much light. 1 second. Alright, so not really 100% sure what I'm doing, so I'm trying to get this little recording thing going. This is called, this sefer is called Nekudas HaKesef, and it's written in yeshiva in Bnei Brak, and the head of the yeshiva is a man by the name of Cheskel Ben. This goes through the entire Rashash, those who want to learn Kavanot. So here we are, we do learn Kavanot, and we think about Kavanot, and it's really, really a deep subject, very deep, and everybody who's a Kabbalist dips their fingers into it to try to get some of the really beautiful stuff in it. Let me open this book up, and so it really goes through everything there is in the davening. It's important to know that Rabbi Bing is not Sephardic, he is Hasidic. And so therefore he has his own books, his own different things, and he attempts to, the entire Rashash. Now let me see if I could get this so that we could, the part that I want to show, maybe this is not the right page. Go back, we could do all these pages a little bit duplicates. So let's take this. Let's go back some more, and I think this is the page that I'm looking for, this kind of area here. These are areas that I've been through before. Doesn't mean that I'm a master of them at all. But I always like to look at it, and each time I look at it, I get a better understanding of what is going on. Let me put on hold for a second here, and I'm going to find the place where I want to start. It'll be easy for us to look at this concept. Now, those of us who have been learning the Kavanos and the Tiva Kavanos see a lot of different words used, and here is just, you want to see something to meditate on, is to try to see what the Rashash is working with. It's complex. So this is a very simple page, though. And down the middle, you see that it shows Atzilus, Bria, Yetzira, and Asiya. These are all the 4 different universes. They represent that Atzilus is right next to the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. But then we have some contemplation of it, and that's why it's in our charts, and then lower and going down to the worlds where we live. Now, let's look at what the Rashash, though, has to say, and it's actually a duplicate, I think, on every one of the worlds, and let's try to get these down. Oh, that's a better picture. So we have, if we look at Atzilus, the Rashash is saying is that there's actually a concept called the Chitzonius of Atzilus and the Panemius of Atzilus. See that? Chitzonius, Panemius. Right? Then it turns out there is more division that he makes. There's Chitzonius of the Chitzonius, and a Panemius of the Chitzonius. There's a Chitzonius of the Panemius, and a Panemius of the Panemius. So if Chitzonius the Chitzonius, Panemius the Chitzonius. Chitzonius Panemius, Panemius the Chitzonius. Now if you read them from the right to the left, you would be really thinking about them being from the outside in. So first, the most outside part would be the Chitzonius. So the Chitzonius, let's say it's an outside layer. Let's try to understand, just say what it could possibly be. That layer has a Chitzonius to it, and it has a Panemius to it. Then you go to the inside layer. That layer is not simple either, and it's all really pretty close to sounding like it's male and female all the time. It's opposites, or different kinds of combinations. So he says that there's a Chitzonius to the Panemius and a Panemius to Panemius. That's the case in Olam Atzilus. So then, below the Chitzonius, he says, here's some other words that we can understand what Kitzonius means. Now, we are in the Olam of Atzilus, right? And we're going to see that the same kind of concept exists in the Olam of Bria and Yetzirah and Asiya. So let's see, what did I mean? Well, the Kitzonius would be the Asiya, Yetzirah, and Bria, which would be, in other words, if you have Atzilus, Bria, which is called a Bia, let's say Yetzirah, all of them together, the Benemius part would always be the Atzilus, and the other three are outside, called outside of Asiya, and they're called Bria, Yetzirah, and Asiya, or in other words, Bia. So this is the Kitzonius is also the Bina of it, the Bia of a Kitzonius, and the Atzilus is the Atzilus of Kitzonius. Atzilus, same thing as the Benemios, and like that. Then you look over the Benemios side. So this is more interior, closer to the Ein Sof. But there is a Kitzonius to it. And then there's a Benemius to it. And then you see there's a Asiya, there's a Yetzirah, and there's a Bria, that all refer to Kitzonius. But then, if you want to go to the highest level, it would be the Atzilus of the Benemios of Atzilus. Just a little idea in the nomenclature and the language of the Rashash, because many who listen to the Shiurim hear me using the words Benemios and Kitzonius and all these different kinds of ideas. Well, here's some of it. And with God's help, we'll have a little bit leg up and to understand a little bit more of Kabbalah. This is Baruch Fleischman at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel.